I didn't pause it in time. I'm getting better at hold on. Actually, let me make sure that my mic isn't going crazy right now. How are we sounding? Do I sound good? I hope I sound good. If not, there's not much I can do about it, but you know. Um I'm getting better at doing this thing. Oh, I also need to switch over to hold on. The just chatting section. You guys sound good. Thanks, Josho. Um so I'm getting better at doing this thing. I used to be really bad with one particular aspect of my music, which was the leaving empty space at the beginning and end, just chapping at the beginning and end of my songs. And that was really bad because when you listen to my songs on like streaming or like in playlists and stuff, there would be like a bunch of empty space at the beginning or the end. And you'd be like, is there a song that's about to happen, or is the song over, or what's going on? And I've gotten better at that. But the thing about that is that now I've gotten to a point where I'm overcorrecting. I make the ending of things a little too short or a little too sudden, which when I'm working with my own songs, that's not a problem. But it means that if I don't pause it like right at the moment where it switches over songs, then it moves on to a different song very quickly, and I have to kind of just suddenly stop whatever song. So you guys heard a little bit of, I think it was Polychrome just now, as I stopped the end of the Our Legacy remix. Yeah, those songs that you guys were just hearing, I'm gonna shill a little bit right now, were from a remastered album that I recently put out, that I was working on while I had lost my voice. So in case you guys aren't aware of the situation, I was getting ready to finish up the album that we're going to be showing today, in the end of like January. And I only had like vocal work left to do on it. I like re-recorded a bunch of bass stems, and all of the songs were sounding great, and I just needed to get the vocals done on a couple of songs. But I lost my voice for like the entire month of February, so I couldn't get the vocals done. And I only recovered it like very, very recently, near the beginning of March, and over the course of like the past week or two, I've gone through and finished up those songs that I had the vocals that I needed to finish. But in the meantime, as sort of like an extra little bit, so that I wasn't just doing nothing during February, I went back on a bunch of my older songs and remastered them, and I released that as a remastered collection. So I will link that right now in the chat. Just give me 1 second. It's called A Collection of Songs That Sound Okay, because they're not great, but they sound okay. Yeah, so we have about 45 minutes now before we're going to be starting the streaming of all of the music. It may just be me, but I think that collection of songs sounds okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd hope so. Otherwise, the title would not be accurate. If it sounded too good, then I would have to change the title. That would just be confusing now. I can't even imagine the nightmare for the people that manage my Rate Your Music page, which is literally just Tess. I wonder if Tess is going to be here. I hope so. I think she'd like a lot of the stuff that I'm doing with this album. If not, she'll probably hear it eventually, though. But yeah, we have a little bit of time before we're going to be starting actually listening to the album. What that's going to kind of look like is I'm going to go through each of the songs as we come across them, give a little bit of a kind of overview on what the song's about, any like fun facts that I can think of off the top of my head. I didn't really prepare any material for this, so it's just going to be primarily me spewing ADHD riddled nonsense words at you and hoping that it sounds cohesive. and then playing a song that I've spent a lot more time working on than I have working on the little blurbs about them. So, yeah, that's kind of going to be how we run things today. And then in the meantime, until then, I'm going to be talking with you guys. I don't have a ton of people in here right now, but that's fine, you know. Got some of the regulars. We got Mojo, we got Smooth, who is a big fan of one song in particular, I know. The only like super long song I ever wrote. I wanted to do another super long song for this album, but I didn't feel like, hello, the Reverick, welcome to the stream. I didn't feel like doing another super long song. I actually thought you meant Thorns. Thorns is also a fun one. I really didn't like the mix on Thorns when I first released it, but I spent like half a year in 2023 just fixing whatever the fuck I was doing with my mastering. And going back on it for the compilation album, I really like how it actually ended up sounding with just like a little bit a better mastering. I really like City in My Mind. I really like City in My Mind as well. Fun fact about, actually, no, I'll save what I'm going to say about City in My Mind till later when we're actually talking about the songs on the album. But that is one of the ones that I kind of released as a single ahead of time before I announced the album. It wasn't really planned to be on the album at first, but kind of pivoted. It was one of the first things I really wrote that ended up being on the album. It wasn't one of the first things I wrote for the album because it was supposed to be its own thing, but we pivoted and we are here where we are now, and it actually sounds a little better in the album than on like YouTube and in the single version, which is actually the case for all of the things that I released ahead of time. I actually updated the mix of Ad Finitum, which is the sort of pre-order song that I included on the album. So the old version of that, I guess you could consider that lost media. I don't know. That's kind of a weird thing to think about, but it's not lost. I have it, but maybe I'll upload it as like a bonus something somewhere. I don't really like the old mix, but you know, it's something that people want to probably hold on to. I know preservation's a big thing, so let's snooze the ad for 5 minutes. We're just getting started. I don't want to hit you guys with an ad right away. That's just rude of me. Having you look at stuff to give me money. But yeah, very excited. All of the new songs. I think I have that old mix in my offline YouTube music library, technically. You probably do, especially if you pre-ordered the album and downloaded it. Then you probably would have the old mix. Or you just have it saved somewhere. But yeah, that it's like, you know, it's not a big deal that it's not uploaded anywhere, to be honest. It's just because I said, I still have it, and I don't really plan on uploading it really anywhere. But because like the new mix is literally, it's like the same sort of vibe, but just better, you know? So why would I upload a worse mix somewhere unless it's just for preservation's sake? I've thought about like putting a sort of like archive thing on my website, which is literally, by the way, if you haven't noticed and you've ever been to my website and you don't and you're not familiar, it's literally just a Tumblr blog that's been kind of forced into a website. So if you go to musithical.com, it's literally just like a Tumblr blog. Hi, did I make it? Yes, you did make it. We're not starting for like another 40 minutes, Tess. So you very much so made it. You are here for the music, and you are going to be able to hear the full album. You have missed the entire... No, I have been tricked into using Tumblr. I will be suing you. Hey, look. Tumblr's not as bad as it used to be, okay? Actually, I don't really think it was ever that bad to begin with. Like, there was some like individuals that I'm sure like weren't the greatest and left it with a bad reputation, but I think that Tumblr overall has always been like just as bad as everywhere else on the internet. It's just a different kind of bad, you know? I missed your mom. What does that even mean, Tess? What the fuck? I also had coffee, like less than an hour ago, which means that I'm super uppity right now. And you guys are getting the front of that. So if I'm rambling or I'm like talking super fast and you're like, why won't this person just shut the fuck up and slow down? Then don't worry. In like an hour, I will have mellowed down and leveled out and be a regular amount of energetic. 90% of the toxic Tumblrites moved to Twitter, so honestly, it's cleansed right now. Yeah, I mean, Twitter's its own hellscape. Honestly, it's down to site moderation, and site moderation on Twitter is awful right now for very obvious reasons. But yeah, no, I've been. It feels disgusting to say, but I've kind of pivoted to just using Reddit for like feed entertainment, because it's like more curatable for you personally. Like if you ignore all of like the default subreddits that it just spews at you when you get a new account, and just like go to the ones that you specifically want and block the ones that you don't. You can block subreddits, by the way. I learned this the other day. You can just completely mute a subreddit from ever showing up on your feed. Isn't Tumblr just a less moderated Facebook? I'm not sure how that site works. It's a blog site. So, well, it's mostly a blog site. It's kind of like a weird amalgamation of blog and social media. So it's sort of different. It's like it's different in like ways that only the people that really care are going to really notice. I feel like it's best described as a forum. Because forums are a little are like a little bit of a different kind of thing too. Because they're like, you look at a bunch of posts on like a homepage, or you like go into certain sections of a like website that has been broken down a little bit less. It's not as specific. Whereas Tumblr, it's just individuals and hashtags and tags and all that. It's a forum with a home feed. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it, I'd say. It's like if I don't know what I was gonna say. Man, the ADHD is hitting hard today. That's a good sign for later. I have been playing. What games have I've been playing recently? I've been like going in and out of Baldur's Gate 3 so much over the past few months, and it's like I'll play for like 60 hours in like a week, and then I'll stop for like 2 months, and then I'll go again and play for like 60 hours a week, and then I'll stop for 2 months. Waiting for someone to make a video essay a la how many Super Mario games are there, but quantifying which major sites are blog social medias. It's such a like I feel like calling stuff like that, it's like every one of those websites is so specifically different in how it does things that the cube rule of social media sites, I don't know what that means. But yeah, Baldur's Gate, I've been playing a lot of Persona 3. Like, I won't shut up about Persona 3 to my friends sometimes. Have you never seen the cube rule of food? No, I have not. Yes, we have our resident Tesseract. That is a fourth dimensional cube. Does that apply in any sort of way? Yeah, no, Persona 3. I won't shut the fuck up about it. Which is fine for me. And I Snow, my best friend Snow, also doesn't want to shut the fuck up about Persona 3 in like the best kind of way, because that means that I can just send her all of the memes that I want and she can send me all the memes that she wants, and we just are little goobers for this stupid anime game. It is this, I don't know what that means. I took some more footage of that range that I recorded for the Already Gone MV. Wonder what I'm going to use it for, if anything. Already Gone 2. We do a collab. It wasn't snowy this time. Yay, unfortunately it was muddy. Oh, mud. Oh, no. I lived in Florida too long to ever enjoy mud. I lived in Florida for like less than a year. And that was too long. I read that as AMV. AMV. Animated. Anime. Something. I don't know. I don't actually know what AMV stands for. Should have been. Tess, when are you gonna make an Owl House OC animated AMV of Already Gone? I need that in my life. Oh man. I also have been super excited about the like tiniest of things right now. There's like a like Spider-Verse mini episode thing that they're putting out soon. And like I eat anything Spider-Verse related up, of course, because I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan. So I'm very excited for that, even though it's probably going to be like less than 10 minutes. Oh fuck, I have 1.5 minute ad. No, hold on. Oh no, the ads. You know how you can fix that. No, I'm kidding. You don't need to give me money. I want to watch Over the Garden Wall again soon. But like I tell myself that, because it's one of my favorite things ever. I have to tell myself to wait until like October, because if I watch like shows or if I play games too much, then they start to become not as special to me. So I like to pace myself, and I like have to just keep telling myself, no, don't fall into it. It's sitting there right on I think it's max. I think it's max that it's on, and it just mocks me. Thank you, Tess. Thank you. Is the alerts are muted. There we go. Sorry, you only got half of your money's worth. But here, I'll read it out for you. I'll read the first half. Twitch, please stop showing me ads. There we go. You got your money's worth. I don't know why I had alerts muted. I think I had them muted because I wanted to test the album release. Which I have a this is so funny. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me show you guys the album release thingamajig that I have going on here. So if I go to, where is it? Themes. Album release. This is what I've done for the currently playing. It's just it's just it's just a chroma keyed text file thing that using like the default Windows text, but and I just type and I keep my cursor there. Cute. The white text on the white and the light pink background is fucked up. Yeah, I want to hurt your eyes. I should be able to make them a little darker if or like color key them if it's that bad though. Give me a sec. Relay, filters, give him a stroke or something. Do color correction maybe. Here. On. Ooh. What is the difference between this and this? Already have a shut up, Tess. Color correction. Saturation? No. Just make it black. Make the shadows darker. That's what I think I want to do. Here, let's do this. I don't know if this is going to work, but ooh. Wait, hold on. Because the shadows are baked, but I can add an extra shadow. That's way better. Okay, it's a little intense, so let's see. Can I lower the intensity just a bit? And then the shadow's kind of far away. So there we go. Oh my god, thank you so much, Reverick, for the Prime sub. Wait, did that start a hype train? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. It's been so long since I've had a hype train going. I can't remember the last time I ever had a hype train. I think it was like a couple of years ago, to be honest. Now that we have that, actually, I can probably afford to do this. And maybe if I copy filters, paste filters, filters. Ah, no, it doesn't let me. Okay, whatever. Remove. Okay, hype train, I guess. I have like 73 bits. When's the last time I ever cheered? I don't think we're going to get a crazy hype train going because we only have like a few people here, and like hype chains require like multiple different people to like donate, but I still appreciate you guys trying nonetheless. Thank you for redeeming the hydrate. I actually only have a really small water bottle today, so we're going to have to really be lenient on those hydrates for me. I'm never using these, so my bits come first. I mean, what? Thank you guys for the bits. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out, because I might hop in the VC after the album party posture check. You guys wouldn't actually even be able to see, but you can take my word on it that I did adjust my posture. Now I am sitting upright even more, because I've actually improved my posture quite a bit. Yeah, after we're done listening to the album, I think what I'm gonna do is probably hop in the stream VC. And we will just hang out there and maybe play a game. We might play Jackbox. We might play something else. I don't have a lot of multiplayer games. We could play Among Us. When was the last time anybody ever streamed Among Us? I mean, people are probably still streaming it, but like it's, ooh, that sounds fun. Among Us stream. We just pivot to Among Us after. I got the Monster Prom games. I do not know what those are. And honestly, I probably wouldn't be interested because it doesn't sound like something that I would be. Jackbox 2. Among Us is only good with like 8 or so people. Crab game. No, I'm not playing Crab game. I don't even think I have Crab game installed. Not like that would take long to install. Wait, what the fuck? I do have it installed. Hold on. Why do I have it installed? I'm back at my PC so I can play fucking anything. You can play fucking anything? Man. Crazy. I was crazy. You can't have anything in the stream chat. You can't. Not a path you want to go down. It's not a path I want to go. I was messing with you. I'm on my P Skrillex 7. God, Skrillex is underrated. He didn't fucking say that. I don't. People talk a lot of shit about Skrillex, like, still to this day. He doesn't get as much as he used to, but like, I never thought he was that bad. He was kind of goofy, and I think that's why people were like, he's an easy target because he's goofy. But nah, he is in fact the GOAT. Skrillex is my favorite Christian rock band. Owl City is my favorite Christian rock band. I think the Skrillex hate has died out ever since people just got over the fact that dubstep is the way it is. Yeah. I still can't get over that Skrillex did the intro song for Kingdom Hearts 3. When you boot up the game, there's like a whole not an animatic. What the I am so fucked over in the brain by the internet. There's this whole like intro thing. And Skrillex did the music for that. Also, I just realized that the drop shadow on the just chatting cuts off. Oh no! What are we gonna do? No, it's great. The intro song to Kingdom Hearts 3 is wonderful. Honestly, all Kingdom Hearts music is fucking phenomenal. They have no right to go as hard as they do. And I cannot wait for Kingdom Hearts 4. Yeah, Joshua gets it. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to post the album link to the Bandcamp in the chat. Based solely off the song titles, not the ones that are out unless you haven't heard them, but based solely off the song titles, what are you guys looking forward to hearing the most? Because I was trying to do a little bit different stuff and a little bit more of a range of stuff from what I've done in the past. Because, well, obviously Never Drunk, Never Sober. Forever Passenger. Never Drunk, Never Sober is an interesting one. Actually, Tess, I think you've heard that one. Like, because I think I've sent it to you. Forever Passenger has one of my favorite choruses on the album. Never Drunk, Sober, and I'm so small in all of this. I'm so emo. I hear it too. It's not really an emo song. Like, or like cause like I think people are gonna see that, and if they know me, they're going to think that it's like a low key like acoustic song. It's not. It's like an electronic song, and it's still kind of low key, but it's like not the sort of singer-songwriter style that I go for when I want to do something low-key. It's really different. Snow, actually, we were having a conversation about it, and she was like, I wonder how people are going to react to that, because it's like, I will say, it is probably the most different song from everything else on the album. Like, the songs on the album have like a bit of variety to them. Like, you can kind of pair some of them together. So like A Meaningless Exchange and Ad Finitum are kind of like you can pair those together. Candy and Vampires and Never Drunk, Never Sober kind of work well together, and those ones are like back to back on purpose. Forever Passenger and the title track, Finish This Before You Die, are both like kind of low key acoustic tracks. So there's like that kind of thing going on, but it's like not just like each other. Like it's kind of like a mix of different things, and I had different styles that I wanted to mix together for this whole album. And I wanted to do a few specific things in particular. I wanted to make sure that all of the tracks were vocal tracks, because in my first couple of albums I had this really bad habit of making half the tracks instrumentals, and like not good instrumentals, like very basic, very limited, very I'm still learning how to make music kind of things. So in this one I wanted to make sure there wasn't any like significantly mostly instrumental tracks. I wanted them to be all like full vocal songs. I wanted them to all be at least 2 minutes long. I wanted them to be completely finished. Hey, Papa, welcome. This is your first time in my chat. That's right. I'm so used to seeing you in Ruby's chat that that I was like, first time chatter, that's not right. Lifeline was a great front to back vocal album, so I think you got it. It is okay, so people are allowed to like whatever they want. That's perfectly fine. And if you like my older albums, that is wonderful, and I'm so happy that you do, and I hold a special place in my heart for those albums. But I don't like going back and listening to them because it's like, and sometimes I will just to like remind myself of how far I've come, but I don't like going back and listening to Comet or Aftermath because they're just like so much more primitive, and there's highlights on them. Primarily, like, I was really good at writing like acoustic stuff back then, so some of the acoustic songs on those albums are pretty good still. But Lifeline is good, and if you don't agree with me, you are wrong, Taryn. I like Lifeline. I think what I was going to lead into is that I think I would consider Lifeline to be my first like real album that I put out. I think Comet and Aftermath are like they're still like things that I put out and things that I like and things that like I said hold a special place in my heart, but I think that they were not my best work. And even for like what I was doing at the time, I could have gone an extra mile and made them better with the skills I had. So I think Lifeline was the first thing where I really went all in, and made something that I could say definitively at the time I did my best on. And I that's why I kind of considered that to be my starting point, as opposed to going back to like when I was in high school. I released Comet, and it was just like this school project that I made into like an album. And then Aftermath, which was just like, I want to make an album again. And I was like, okay, here's this album. And it was just like, okay, I think Aftermath probably, if I were to like rank my albums by best to worst, I think Aftermath would probably be on the bottom. But I haven't even listened to the first two of these, so I don't know how right I am, but I'm pretty sure Comet is your 39 smooth, Aftermath is your kerplunk, and Lifeline is your D. I'd say that's accurate. Yeah. Is indeed my first time in chat. Yes, and I am so happy to have you here. Thank you for joining in, Papa. It is very much appreciated. Yeah, no. It's interesting though, because and then Anios, I called that an album at the time, but it's more of like a glorified EP, if anything. This is going to be my Insomniac, which means it's going to be the best thing I've done yet. I would hope so. If I wasn't constantly improving and making myself a better musician, I would be a little sad. The part of me that likes Lifeline / Weird Kid a lot is the same brain that likes the really long Marianas Trench opening and ending tracks, but you do have more vocal range. Yes, I think, okay, if I'm going to make any definitive call about this album, it definitely has my best vocal work out of all of my previous stuff. Because songs like Together Again, which you guys have already heard, which also this has the improved mix from the YouTube version. The YouTube version has the like very original mix that wasn't really the greatest. So the album has an updated mix with actually entirely different guitar sounds. And you guys have obviously heard Together Again. And the vocals on that are some of like the most proud of vocals that I've had on an original song. There's also stuff like, let's see, A Meaningless Exchange, I think, is just like really fun in like the verses. And like the chorus is Snow says it's the best chorus that I've ever written. But I think that aside from that, the verses of A Meaningless Exchange really shine because they're just like so bouncy and fun and lyrically. I think it's some of like the best lyrics I've written. Oh, by the way, random aside, can I put my Already Gone remix on my Bandcamp? And if so, can you give me the final master and a nice square image for it? Yeah, of course. That's perfectly fine. I would be happy to. Just remind me after stream. Shout out to that remix, by the way. It's over on my YouTube channel if you want to go listen. Actually, I'll just pull it up and put it in chat right now. Musithical Already Gone. Go listen to that. Tess made that. Took my vocals, made something that I consider to be better than the original song. So yeah, go listen to that. You have like 15 minutes before I'm listing it under hyperpop. I mean, that's accurate. Oh my god. I was going through my old stuff last night, like my old covers and stuff, and I found my old cover of Fireflies from like and I came to a realization that this entire time I've just been making slowed down hyperpop, and which like it's like it makes sense. Hyperpop is just essentially like sped up punk with electronic elements and EDM elements. Oh wait, 15 minutes. I need to do my fucking Duolingo. Do your Duolingo, Tess. What is with people that I know and not doing their fucking Duolingo? The only person I know who does their Duolingo every day is Megan. Because she's wonderful and I love her. But yeah, do your fucking Duolingo. What else can we talk about? I'm a streamer, but I'm a bad one because I need to figure out what we're talking about. Oh my god, there's this game that came out. I think it was no. What is the term? I think it's under Annapurna. Pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I think it's under Annapurna. Called Pacific Drive. And it's essentially you driving this old beat up station wagon in like this like post-apocalyptic weird like ethereal like reality shifting government quartered off area of the Pacific Northwest, the Olympic Peninsula specifically. And you're like slowly upgrading your car to become this like supercar because there's all these like anomalies happening around you and you have to like drive through like these areas. It's so interesting, and it's like probably gonna be like the first game on my like top 10 games of 2024 list because it's like so fun and unique, and like it finds a way to make really bad driving mechanics fun. And like because when you start the game, it's like this fucking junker. It's like this terrible car that like breaks down constantly. And like it had super unresponsive steering. And the transmission like sucks. Like it takes like a whole like 3 minutes to get up to top speed. But like because of that, it makes like the chaos happening around you all the more like chaotic. And it creates this really just thrilling gameplay loop that I absolutely love. I definitely recommend that game. Maybe that's what I'll play after we're done with listening to the album. We'll see though. We will have to see. We got 10 minutes. 10 minutes, guys, before we start listening. It's gonna be a thing, hopefully. I'm kind of anxious because like this is I've been working on this for a while. Like, this is probably the longest period of working on an album that I've had, and I just hope that it ends up like being something that people like, because if not, I'm going to be sad. No, it's just like something I think for a very long time I was struggling with being proud of my own music without external validation. Um and I think that, like, this is, regardless of how well this does, I think that it's something that I'm just going to be proud of regardless. Because I'm very happy with how everything sounds. Very happy with that. I actually, like, there sometimes when you like make stuff as like an artist of any kind, uh you go back and there's like these like little things that like just constantly bug you in the back of your head, that you're like, I could have done this thing better. I could have improved it in this way. And like that doesn't ever go away. It's just kind of learned with, but this is like the first time where I'm like not as like bothered by those kinds of like intrusions. Uh like they're still there, but like I can just kind of shake them off, because the pride I do have in the stuff that I've created outweighs that. And I think that's just like very happy. Did you say shake it off? Yes, I did. We live in the another uptick in Taylor Swift, whatever the fuck that means. Oh my god, uh my friend Tor just DM'd me on Discord and was like, "You should DM me when the album is out. I want to be the first listener." Get in the stream then. I'm gonna be streaming the whole album in 8 minutes. Get in the stream if you want to be the first. Super funny. It's funny too because they messaged me on Discord, and on Discord I have to oh no, they have to shower and go to work. I'll send them the VOD. Like, it's funny because on Discord it shows the like, oh, this person is live, and then it like shows what the stream is. So it's funny that they message me on Discord being like, show me the album, and I'm like, the album is gonna be showed. we got it right here. I got it pulled up and everything. Yeah. I'm so glad I did my Duolingo because the widget had the bird fucking mooning me. Its butt was also its face. I need that nightmare out of my phone. I am not here for the horrors. What the fuck? Duolingo. Come on, man. What you doing, man? Oh my god, they sent me a gif of them opening like a burger. Like a styrofoam like burger like to go container, but it's just a cat inside of it. God. Core sends me the best gifts. Hands down. Like, I've seen a lot of gifts in my day, my time on the internet, but Tor 100% has the most curated collection. You guys remember when people in like 2016 would like quote unquote collect like rare images of memes? That was the fucking stupidest shit ever. I still can't fucking believe that. 6 minutes. 6 minutes until the nightmares. till they come crawling in. I've been thinking about getting a modded Wii. Because if you don't know me, I'm like super into that sort of era of video games, like the GameCube into the Wii, sort of like cross era between the two. And there's a lot of like really fun stuff that you can do on a Wii that's been modded. And I kind of want to I'm like debating because like I could get a Wii and it could be super super fun. And I could have like modded Super Mario Sunshine on there, and I could use all the tools, or I could get a Wii U, and have like all of like the fun like weird like virtual console stuff that they had on that, like the DS virtual console. I don't even know what that means. What is a DS virtual console? How does that happen? I really should just disable ads for this stream. How do I disable ads? Hold on. Can I disable ads while I'm streaming? I can disable mid-rolls while I'm streaming. I cannot disable pre-rolls. Okay, give me a second. Okay. I have disabled mid-roll ads. We should, after this one, be no longer receiving ads for the stream. And if not, I don't know. I'll just need to remember to turn it back on afterwards. Okay, but yeah, no, we should be good for ads after this one. Hopefully. I hope. If not, I'll just try to make sure that we're not playing any songs during the ads, or at the very least, I can delay the ads. But hopefully, the ads should be disabled for the rest of the stream. Hopefully. But yeah, we got like 2 minutes here before we're gonna be starting. So let's switch over to the album release section. The first song. No, what happened? My font got fucked up. The first song is called Editors. No, I'm not going to put the apostrophe because for whatever reason, when I put the apostrophe, it just fucks up the entire thing. Also, the E is not capitalized. Microsoft Word. This first song is, let me pull up the Bandcamp. That has my little blurbs on it, and that's going to give me a better idea of what I should talk about. But yeah, this first song. This album as a whole, actually. Let me talk about this album as a whole. This album I created because I was in a very internalized creative space as a musician. And for a decent amount of time, I was surrounding myself with people who were very unhealthy in the mindsets that they projected onto other people about being a musician in a content creation sort of sense. When I started making music, I was making it for me because I enjoyed it and I wanted to create something for my own sake. Because I found it fun, I found it fulfilling. And I didn't really want to care about what other people thought. And like we can only do so much with that, right? Like we can't just completely shut out everybody all the time. Like just not feasible. But I didn't want to constantly be thinking about that in a really unhealthy way. And unfortunately, I had surrounded myself with people that were constantly talking about things like how many views and what you can do to get more views, the sort of strategy for like releasing music and how you should be releasing music more frequently instead of like focusing on like the quality of it all. And like it was frustrating because that's like in my head, I knew that that's not what I wanted to do, but they were like kind of imposing that on me, and like trying to tell me that that's how I should be doing things. And it really got to me. And for a while, I was convinced that that's just how the music world was, and that if you wanted to be making music, you kind of had to take it in that sort of way, which is ridiculous. And like looking back on it now, it's ridiculous that I ever thought that way. And it got me into this cycle where I just it had the inverse effect. I was thinking so much about the more mechanical aspect of releasing music and putting it out into the public and trying to like game the system and all that, that it made it not fun for me, and it made it harder to actually put anything out. And there was a period for like half a year where I just didn't release anything because it felt miserable to try and create. And I got to a point where I was trying to put together a project. It was going to be this like concept album thing again. And I just wasn't enjoying it. And I was starting to think about like the possibility of like falling out of love with music and never releasing anything again. And I dreaded that thought, and I didn't want that to happen at all. It was the last thing I wanted to happen, but it was a genuine thought that I was having. And in sort of a kind of self jab at myself, I retitled the project folder to Finish This Before You Die. I never signed up for event notifications on Discord. I was so confused for a second. Yeah, no, I was confused too. I was like, why am I getting a Discord notification? I shouldn't be getting a Discord notification. I'm in streamer mode, and then it just pops up with that. Anyway, yeah, I titled the project folder Finish This Before You Die. It's sort of like a jab at myself to be like, you're doing things in a not healthy way right now. And that's what sort of the at the time as well, I had moved from Florida to Oregon. So the album cover is supposed to be sort of like a desktop image. It's posterized. The background is of the Oregon skyline. One of the first pictures I took when we were driving in to Oregon. I think I set my phone to have completely different sound for Discord events versus messages. That's funny. Yeah, and then it's supposed to be like a desktop image, and the folder is like the project folder. Finish This Before You Die. And that was kind of the motto that I took of I want this album to be something that I make for myself, and to get kind of out of that cycle of not enjoying it because I was doing it for reasons that I didn't want to be doing it for deep down. And get to a point where I'm actually enjoying making music again, and I'm not constantly second guessing myself and not putting anything out because I don't don't enjoy the process, then I don't think it's good enough. I don't think that I'm going to ever be capable of being a good musician because I was doing it in a way that wasn't meant for me. So yeah, that's sort of the whole synopsis of the album is put out music that you enjoy, put out art that you enjoy making, make things that you care about, and if I don't put something out before I die, then I'm going to be miserable. And it will be because I was miserable. And that moves into like this first song, editor's note, which the blurb on Bandcamp kind of summarizes it the best. My mental health has led me to a point of losing meaning in myself and my ability to create. And I am desperate to put something out to prove to myself that I can still make something and be proud of it. You're one of the people who inspires me, whether consciously or subconsciously, to keep hammering at this music thing. Thank you. That means a lot, Tess. And you also inspire me by showing me some of the craziest music that I've ever seen. That makes me want to try new things. Like, genuinely, there are songs on this album that would not exist if you had not showed me some of the stuff that you showed me. So you are partially to blame for this. So if you like it, awesome. If you don't, it's your fault. No, yeah, I love just going out into the music world and finding shit that I've never heard before. Yeah. Good, I ran chaos, haha. Me and chart servers. So yeah, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna mute myself now, and we're gonna listen to this first song. And then I'm actually going to let it go into the second song on the album, because I really like the transition between the two. They're written in the same key, and the transition is just really fun and nice. It's not a perfect transition, so don't be expecting anything too fancy. It's not like they move perfectly into each other or anything, but they're kind of complementary to each other. I put them in the album in this order specifically, with these two in mind in particular. So I'm going to play them back to back. And then we will talk about the second song once we're done listening to it. So let us go.
Give me a little motivation. Show me a couple good things. Give me a line at the end of the road that sings so low the water sobs inside of me. Give me a little modulation. Show me the synthesis in life. So when the fire gets out of hand, you'll understand what it means to be alive. 'Cause all the books in the bedside table tell me go to hell. And when I open up my heart to something more, you say I'm messing up the point, my brain goes sore. 'Cause all the little people on your desk will tell you you're not well. And when I open up my heart, I can't decide between the saturated heart and suicide. Fuck. I'm losing the will to keep on going. I'm losing the will to keep on going. I'm losing the will to keep on going. I'm losing the will to keep on showing you life is more than little things that never the last thing that I think I'll ever write. I know I'm losing out on time at 16. I had very big dreams and I lost them all to overthinking. All my friends are prodigies and never waiting up for me. The speed of sound is not enough to outrun this black hole I'm feeding. Starting to think you'll never go away. 'Cause every time I find a way to kill you, you just awaken my head the next day. Scream out your name when you don't need me. Break my heart when you don't see me. Notify the presence of another lie you weave. Put my hand over my heart to lose something that I don't believe in anymore. When you go, don't you say that you never ruin me. 'Cause when you come back in the autumn, you will break me the same way. I think I'm losing touch with the story. Think I'll end up drowning in the sound. Will you come to dig me out? I think I'm watching the numbers too closely. Miss the point and find there's no fun now. Back up, don't make a sound. Dead end and turn around. Tell me to sit aside and bite my thumb. And when the voice inside screams ideation, you find a brand new way to make me numb. Think words aloud that I don't mean and lose my breath when there's a scene I can't be honest through a wall of endless apathy. Put my hand over my heart to lose something that I don't believe in anymore. When you go, don't you say that you never ruin me. 'Cause when you come back in the autumn, you will break me the same way. I think I'm losing touch with the story. Think I'll end up drowning in the sound. Will you come to dig me out? I think I'm watching the numbers too closely. Miss the point and find there's no fun now. Back up, don't make a sound. Dead end and turn around.
So, how we feeling? Do we like it so far? I hope so. You guys already probably heard that second one, at Finitum. It was the pre-order song. But if not, I hope you liked it. It's some words about that I need to find. Give me a second. I'm going to the album. That one in particular was one of the first songs I wrote for the album. That was actually intended specifically for this album. Editor's note was sort of written later on. It was in sort of the middle stages of writing, but that one was at Finitum was one of the first things. And that one specifically in tandem with Editor's Note, you could probably get the themes of Editor's Note where it's like, oh, this is me losing my motivation. It's literally there in the lyrics. And not really having the willpower to keep going with music, and that tying in with, you know, suicide is a common theme in a lot of my songs and albums because it's something that I have very intimate and personal experienced with. And, you know, losing motivation for the thing that you love doing the most. To definitely sort of brings you back to that place a little. So editor's note was sort of along those lines, whereas Ad Finitum touches more on the sort of creator aspect of it, and sort of looking at your creations from a numeric and analytical perspective rather than, do I like this? There's a line in let's see, where is it? It's the sort of salute something that I don't believe anymore. Is sort of, you know, that, and also this is a very like queer album. There's a lot of notes throughout all of the songs on LGBTQ topics in specifically America. So you'll see that throughout, and especially in this next song, but they're tied in with everything in this album. And this sort of kind of believing in something, but only on a superficial level, is what Ad Finitum is about. Also, if I ever hear any of you pronounce this as Ad Finitum, I will personally stab you. That is a that is a joke, obviously. I'm not going to be going around stabbing anybody, but I will be very upset. You will have some choice words from me personally. Quick editor's note, should probably put a new TW or CW if you're going to talk about topics like, yeah, that's true. I'll add one to stream title, a TW tag, and put something in Nightbot. Give me 1 second. Ad Finitum, which when you're not subscribed. No, because Finitum means that it's limited, that there is a limited amount of it. Ad Finitum means that there is, and that the title of the song is like, I have a limited amount of will to create. Reread what I wrote. Yes, okay, you're correct. Yeah. Very good joke test. Thank you. Okay. I actually do have a trigger warning in the Bandcamp, so I'm just going to kind of copy and paste that. Give me a second. I don't know where the trigger warning went. I think I might have accidentally erased. Add that to the Bandcamp before it goes live next. It's it. Okay, there we go. The TW has been added. Oh, come on. Nightbot. Are you serious right now? Try this one more time. Nightbot, shut the fuck up. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Okay, one more time. One more time. Okay, there we go. It works. Now I just need to change the stream title. Stream info. TW. Okay. All right. So, kind of get the idea of these first two. Thank you, Tess, for pinning that. The next song, Candy and Vampires. Very, if you know what the title is referring to, it's very obvious that I grew up with Cartoon Network, and I'm very fond of their shows. Oh my god, like Drugs and Candy by All Time Low, but about Adventure Time. It's not about Adventure Time. It is more of an allusion to the themes and topic. This song is kind of going back. I wanted to write a couple of concept songs for this album because I really enjoy that kind of writing about characters and ideas. Comet and Aftermath, my first two albums, were both concept albums, and while I don't think they musically hold up that well, I think that the actual writing of Comet in particular does. It was an anthology album about the end of the world. Each song followed an individual character and their sort of story in the week leading up to the end of the world. And I kind of wanted to touch on that sort of singular song story writing technique again. This one isn't following that sort of topic. It's its own thing. The topic of this one is I'm just gonna read the Bandcamp again, because I wrote out these like little blurbs on the Bandcamp for all of the songs, and some of them are just gonna be easier to read off than to explain it on my own right now. So this one is narrated from the perspective of a girl who grew up in a very traditional town and finds herself falling for her best friend. However, because of her religious upbringing teaching her that that kind of love is wrong, she ends up pushing her friend away instead. And her friend grows depressed as a result, and due to the town treating her as a pariah, the friend ends up losing her life. And years later, the narrator is kind of pondering on this and thinking back to her friend, and finds a note that they never opened that was left by that friend. And the note is detailing, kind of blaming the narrator for their actions, and not being there for their friend when they needed, while also revealing that the friend had feelings for the narrator as well. And that's kind of all you need to know about the song going into it. The rest is pretty self-explanatory in the lyrics. So, yeah, let's move on to this next song. 1 second to update this. And here.
She got there so much faster than you could ever lead. Her heart is so much bigger than you would ever need. She sat there on the sidelines waiting for the right time with roses in her hands. You didn't understand. You thought that only big and strong could take your pretty little hands, but when you looked into her eyes, you felt a little part of you come back. I'm gone. Don't you dare say you were good to me. You were never that strong, and your heart is always just as weak. I wish I said something sooner. You would have saved me some trouble, and maybe you could let me out my bubble. You didn't understand. You thought that only big and strong could take your pretty little hands, but when you looked into her eyes, you felt a little part of you come back to life, and you were lost. You thought that you would surely end up hanging on a cross, and when the clock came crashing down, you told a little lie that kept you safe and sound. But look now.
And that is Candy and Vampires. The sort of dryness and overdriven vocals on that one that are kind of ran through a guitar amp just ever so slightly is actually something that I kind of wanted to take from my most popular thing that I've ever put out was a cover of the song Monster from Adventure Time, which is also about the same sort of thing that the title of the song is alluding to. And I sort of wanted to take notes from that because people really liked that for its sort of like raw kind of punky feel that was really dry, and it's like a lot of my older stuff. The mix is very outdated, but I wanted to kind of include that because I thought it would tie in with the the themes of the title of the song very well, and it also just sort of made sense for what it was talking about. And yeah, it's just more of like a classic punk thing with this sort of minimalist electronic interlude. The drums at the very end are a very fun thing because that was an electronic drum VST that was ran through a guitar amp emulator with pre-delay. So it gives it this really like clicky, distorted sound while remaining super dry, which is just really fun. And I had a lot of fun designing the drums at the end specifically. This one probably was the longest song that I spent in the actual production phase, because it was really difficult to get it to sound right for whatever reason. And it doesn't like reach as high as some of the other songs in a production sense. I think the best produced song on the album is definitely the final track. And I'm gonna keep like hyping it up. I don't want everybody to get like too excited for it, but I do think it's like my favorite song on the album, and I put it at the end for a reason. But yeah, no, this one probably spent the longest time in production because it just was super hard to figure out what I was doing with it. I went through like 6 different guitar tones before I landed on the one that I ended up using. I kept changing the drums around because I just didn't like how hollow they were sounding for the most part. It didn't really work with how snappy I wanted the song to be. And it was like ringing out and making the mix really muddy. So it was a hard one. And it's definitely not, it's not the peak of my production skills, but I think it fits because it's a little bit more rough. It's a little bit more on like the classic punk side, and it fits with the themes of the song. And kind of fitting with that sort of mixing style is this next song as well. It's a little bit brighter. Never Drunk, Never Sober. Let me explain that title, kind of. So, because it explaining the title kind of gives you the entire synopsis of the song. I have ADHD. Clinically diagnosed since I was 16. Previously was medicated for it. Weird kid, never broken. God. I was previously medicated. I have not been medicated in 4 years. And something that I don't think people talk about a lot with ADHD is people talk about dissociation a lot, but they don't really talk about what that means. And for me in particular, it creates this sort of mental fog that can last for really long periods of time, where I never feel like I'm fully present. I feel sort of detached from my own body. If you know what disassociation is, then you're very familiar with the concept. But something that I realized, I abstain from alcohol and drugs because I like to feel as in control of my own body as possible, for obvious reasons. And for the first time a couple of months ago, I tried drinking. And something I realized is that, and this was like a really depressing revelation for me, is that the feeling of being under the influence of alcohol is, for me, at the very least, almost virtually the same as when I dissociate. And it's been a very big thing for me to just not fall into the sort of habit of drinking because I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel what I've seen other people in my life experience, because it's been a very negative experience for me externally, and I can't imagine that it would be a very pleasant experience for me to actually be on the other end of. So when I came to the realization that my dissociation was already sort of doing that, and gave me a very similar feeling already, it really stung. And it sort of just led to this song. Very big, very bombastic. The tone of the song itself doesn't really fit the subject matter as closely as some might think. And I think that makes sense. Because a lot of my favorite songs that talk about the negative influence of mental health and drugs and alcohol are weirdly upbeat. Semi-Charmed Life, Jaded and Longview by Green Day. Just like weirdly like calm and upbeat songs talking about these really, really dark topics. So yeah, that's what this Longview can be miserable. It really depends on if you're really listening to the lyrics or not. But yeah, that's what this song's about. Never Drunk, Never Sober is the title. Never drunk because I abstain from alcohol, obviously. Never sober because I don't feel like it much matters that I abstain from alcohol because of the dissociation. So, oh, I need to change the font. Hold on. Never Subaru. Okay, let's change the size. Give me 50? 50? Oh, give me 45. There we go. Alt title, Straight Edge Suffering. Yeah? Okay, let's get started.
You're taking
Thank you, Smooth. Thank you, Tess, as well. I'm glad you guys like that one. I had a lot of fun with the verses on that one, especially. I'm sure you could tell. The sort of up and down of like the guitars blasting in and then leaving space for the vocals, with the back and forth was very fun to write and perform vocally, especially. And that second verse too. I especially love the line. It's a corny line, but I like the line. If we can bend space time, it's gonna be all right. Because it's like this. It's like if we can do this impossible task, that's when we're gonna be okay. And like all of the lyrics are like these sort of like talking about these like weird ethereal concepts, to kind of emulate that feeling of dissociation. Like you don't entirely know what's happening. Who are you, the doctor? No, I'm not the doctor because I can't do it. It's impossible, man. We just gotta make pigs fly, baby. Exactly. You guys get it. Yeah, no. All the lyrics are like these sort of like loosely tied to feelings of despair, but with no sort of interconnectivity between them. Because that's what happens when you are dissociating, when you don't have control of your mind. You kind of just jump between topics in your head and thoughts, and they don't really make any sense to you. So yeah, that's Never Drunk, Never Sober. Also, I hope you guys are enjoying the little squiggly lines below the song titles that Microsoft Word is like, that's not spelled right. I was trying to fix that, and I was just like, fuck it. It adds to the aesthetic. We're in a look at the album cover. It's emulating a Windows desktop. Of course, the fucking squiggly lines underneath and the whole it's literally being made from Microsoft Word. Exactly, Windows Vista. Literally. So I felt like just keeping it kind of made sense still. Okay, next song, Forever Passenger. This is usually with my albums, I write at least one song about Megan, my partner. This is that song for this album. She doesn't know yet that this is that song, so if she ends up hearing this later, I find my best songs are about Megan, which makes sense. Like they're the ones that I'm probably most passionate writing. So, this one was interesting to write musically. Me When I Band Room. Band Room is one of my favorite songs I've ever written. This one is interesting from like an actual like musical standpoint for my writing. It's written in 3/4. There's 2 of those on this album. 2 3/4 songs. It's been a very long time since I've written in 3/4. And it I kind of don't want to spoil it. Cuz there's some interesting stuff that happens throughout. So, are you a jazz musician? No. 3/4 is a waltz, for all of you music heads. So I am writing a waltz, even though it sounds nothing like a waltz. 3/4 swing is not a specific time signature. Swing is just like an imbalance between the beats. They're not using 4/4. They're fucking math rock artists. I'm making the most it is kind of a swing though still, Netro. So without really realizing it, you did get it right. But yeah, not math rock. What's next? Prog? I will never write prog. I'm not smart enough for that. Okay. I think just going into it, like there's not really much explaining to do, so let's just get into this one. I hope you guys enjoy. This was one of my favorites on the album.
passenger seat of your car, and it broke my heart. I caught you lying when you said you're fine, 'cause I know it's hard to be apart. Don't go it alone, 'cause I know you feel home in my arms. I'll let you be alone, 'cause I know that's the hardest part. I'll be here for you when the fog's rolling in and it's clouding the truth. Take your time, you'll have peace of mind, I know. Oh, I'll be here for you when the world starts to spin. It's because that's what you make it do. And you know I always will show it through. 'Cause I love you. You saw me cry in the passenger seat of your car right at the start. I don't know why, but you still stuck right by me. I guess we have the same heart. I can't go it alone, 'cause you know I feel home in your arms. Now let me be alone, 'cause no, that's the hardest part. I'll be here for you when the fog's rolling in and it's clouding the truth. Take your time, you'll have peace of mind, I know. Oh, I'll be here for you when the world starts to spin. It's because that's what you make it do. And you know I always will show it through. 'Cause I love you.
Hello. Thank you for the follow. What was it? Hyperfox? I don't have the Hyperfox 085. Shout out Ruby. Thank you, Ruby, for the pin. Unlucky Felis, thank you for the follow. Getting all of the follows now. Wow. Thank you guys for joining in on the stream. That was Forever Passenger. I laughed so hard, Tess. I was like getting to a point in the song where I was listening to it and I was like, this is getting kind of boring. What can I do? And I was like, fuck it. Let's do full on random rock interlude right back into a second verse, and then the final chorus will bring back like the rock element. And yeah, I mean the themes of the song are obvious. It's like vignettes from my time with Megan, and specifically, I've been humbled and I will now walk a lighter path in life. Specifically, this song is kind of about that feeling when you know that somebody that you love is hurting, and there's not really much that you can do about it, other than just be there next to them and help them just keep going any way that you can. I don't have a witty joke for this right now. That's so fucking sweet. Yeah, it is a bit of a more somber, sad song in like the like 6 songs that I've written for Megan. I should say about Megan. But yeah, that's I broke Tess. I always break Tess. It's fine. That's just the Netro. Thank you so much for the 16-month tier voice crack. 16-month tier 1 sub. God, I really appreciate that, man. But yeah, no, that song's simple, but simple and poignant. I think, like Beyonce said, you won't break my soul. Sometimes you don't need something super complicated to just like leave an impact. Especially if Tess starts talking shit halfway through the song and it grows a mind of its own. Then that really leaves an impact. So this next song, City in My Mind, we have made it to the first single of the album. This I spoke about it earlier, but this one was written as sort of its own thing and then pivoted. It has an updated mix from the version that was released as the single. It is the second and last concept piece of the album. It is a direct sequel to the story of my album Aftermath, and follows the little brother of the main character from that album, returning to if you're not familiar with Aftermath, the story of that one is about this kid who leaves home and kind of goes out into this city that kind of breaks him. And at the end of the album, it ends up that the city burns down, and it's the main character's fault. So this follows the little brother of the main character, years later, 18 years later, after the city is burned down, returning to the city because he's heard rumors that his older brother is still in the city somewhere in the ruins, and is been spotted just kind of making his way around the city. So he goes to return to the city, but immediately is hit with dramatic flashbacks of the night that the city burned down, and he had to escape. So that's what this song is about. It's a rough one. Yeah, Netro, I see your reaction there in the chat. Yeah, it's a little bit of a darker one. It's not as dark as some of the stuff that I used to write, but that was when I was edgy emo phase. Not that I ever grew out of that, but I've just become more nuanced of an emo kid. But yeah, that's what this one's about. This one has some powerful vocals on it. I hope that you guys enjoy them. It's definitely an interesting one. It's also very distorted, so I hope you like distortion a lot. This is City in my mind. And no, that doesn't look good. Let's do... Yeah, that looks better. And let's bump it up to 60. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Let us get started. So that is City in my mind. Yeah, definitely like the most distorted song on the album. It really leans into the sort of like hiss and graininess of the amp sounds. It actually the original mix of it was way more distorted, but I think actually it was Tess that told me that it was kind of grating how distorted it was, and that I needed to turn it down a bit. That was like a long time ago. So I'm not even sure you would remember, but it used to be way worse. So this is the tamer version of it. It does have an updated mix from the single version as well, so it hits a little bit harder. It's a little bit more rounded, and yeah, very MCR inspired. My Chemical Romance. If you couldn't fucking tell, I really wanted to kind of bring the vibes of like Bullets, but sort of mixed with the single that they put out a couple of years ago, Foundations of Decay. And I think I got something that's really, really fun, really interesting. I also find it so funny, the tone of that song against the background that I created for my stream that I literally called Bubbles. Little bit of juxtaposition there, just slightly. But yeah, that one is one that most people are familiar with, if they've been following me. So not much to say about that one. So moving on to the next one. I'm So Small in All of This is what it's called, and I'm gonna start getting the thing ready right. Oh, I can't do apostrophes, it's right. So I'm So Small in All of This. This is the most different song on the album. It's a fully electronic song for the most part. And it the topic of it is a little hard for me to talk about. Synths. Yes, synths. So I don't know if I'm going to touch on what it's about on stream very much. If you're interested in what it is about, you can go to the Bandcamp release and look at the blurb once it's released, because I do detail what it's about there, but I just don't really feel like talking about it on stream. But from a musical standpoint, I can talk about. This one is probably one of the most different things I've ever made from my own style. It's nothing that like is groundbreaking, but it's really unique for me to make something like this, and kind of unexpected, I'd say. A lot of the people that I've shown this to are just kind of really shocked that I would adventure into this style, because I'm punk, I'm rock, I do electronic stuff, but very rarely do I do something that's full electronic and really lean. But I wanted to kind of experiment with this one. So, that said, enjoy the squiggly on the I'm, because I can't add an apostrophe because it fucks with the font. And let's listen to I Am So Small in All of This. Also, thank you, Baby Crow, for the follow. You came right before we started the song. Thank you.
Life without the shadows, faces blinded the obscenities, contrast looming in the gallows, so serene. Don't breathe too hard. Cough up your heart. see life without the shadows. Faces blind to the obscenities. Contrast looming in the gallows. So serene.
Yeah. So that one is very different than what I usually do. It's a. I honestly don't know what kind of inspired me to make it. That this is one of the coolest ones yet. I appreciate that, Tess. I feel like this one is going to be one that people either really love or really hate. And I'm honestly kind of fine with that because it's different, and like, you know, that's what happens when things are different. Is people either love it or hate it. I'm just glad that I was able to like kind of experiment with something and try something a little weird with it. It uses, if you're not familiar with music making and what sound fonts are, they're sort of a primitive way of creating instruments based off of audio clips. A lot of sound fonts were used for things like video games, sort of in like the late 90s, early 2000s, to create a unique sound that wasn't too heavy on the system because it was just modulated instead of being a sound library. So when you think of sound font, you probably can think of stuff like things on like the SNES or the DS, where it's like it sounds kind of like instruments that you know, but not perfect. It has these like weird electronic flaws that are there because of the limitations of the system, and it creates this really unique sound. And I wanted to explore using those a little more with this song. I actually use sound fonts a lot throughout the album, but they are more accents than anything in a lot of the other songs, whereas this one really leans into it. The synths and the sound fonts kind of work in tandem with each other, as opposed to the sound fonts being a highlight in the background of a lot of the other songs. So that was I'm So Small in all of this. The next song is the second single, second and last single of the album. It is one of the ones that I think personally this has the strongest vocal performance on the entire album in the chorus. And if you've heard it, you know what song it is already. It's about I've written about it in the past in other songs, particularly Headspace, an old song of mine, was about this. I have this recurring dream where I get a phone call, and it's from some ambiguous individual. I'm never able to pin exactly who, but it tells me that my partner Megan has gotten into a car crash. And then it just hangs up and I have to sit there with it. And I don't know if he survived or not. And over the course of the past few years since I wrote that first song, it's kind of evolved to kind of jumped to this moment where I'm holding her in my arms, and I don't know if she's going to survive or not. So I'm doing my best to reassure her that everything's going to be fine when I don't actually know. So it's a very personal song surrounding dreams and the like, and nightmares, which has always been a thing for me. I've had very vivid nightmares my entire life. And I touch on that a lot in my music. And this is, I think, one of the highlight products of that. So let's get into Together Again. And if you're coming from Ruby's stream, you've probably heard this song before because she plays it in the background. She has it on her playlist. But this one has an updated mix, and I'm going to force her to use the updated mix on the playlist now. But yeah, let's get into Together Again.
Stay awake sometimes, thinking of the world that's ending, and you there by my side. I never thought much of time until it came around to greet me and leave here with your life. I don't forget down my eyes. Everything will be fine. We'll be together again in another lifetime. Let's stay awake for a while. Think about the lives we're living and how we got this far. I never thought much of life until I took tonight to tell you. I hope I'm first to die. I don't forget down my eyes. Everything will be fine. We'll be together again in another lifetime. When I sit up at night with my eyes closed, thinking about the things out the window, I really hope I don't have to let go all too soon. And when I wake up with you huddled in my arms, makes me wanna give you a world that can't do any harm. There's no regret, so maybe it's time to let go. I don't forget down my eyes. Everything will be fine. We'll be together again in another lifetime. I don't forget down my eyes. Everything will be fine. We'll be together again in another lifetime.
Yeah, so that's Together Again. Like I said, that one was a single as well, so that one has been out for a while. But I wasn't super satisfied with the mix on it, so and I had always planned to have it on the album anyway, but I wasn't super satisfied with the mix, so I went back, redid the mix, changed out the guitars, and I'm really satisfied with the kind of sound that it creates now. I also really like the chords in the chorus. I'm never gonna be able to replicate how those sound, so that is solely a this song thing. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe one day when I've improved. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with that one. It's definitely a highlight of the album. It's super catchy, I think. And it just has this sort of overwhelming vibe to it that I think it's both fun, but when you like listen to the lyrics, I think it really kind of gets to a further place. And you can go and listen to the updated mix on the pre-order actually right now if you're stuck with the older version of the mix for whatever reason. That is on the pre-order, so feel free to go take a look at that, or you can find it on the pre-save. Do a little plug of that right there. But yeah, Together Again, one of my favorites on the album. And we only got 2 songs left now. And this next song is the title track, Finish This Before You Die. It's kind of a weird title track, if I'm gonna be honest, because it's not sort of a lot of title tracks in albums tend to be sort of like a synopsis or a microcosm of the album as a whole. This one is a little different. It's the reason that I gave this one the title track was because I felt like it was sort of talking about a similar process to what the album is about as a whole, which is growing to kind of become a better person and abandoning sort of the inhibitions that you have for how things are when you're in a bad situation. And what that means for this song in particular is it's about a abusive situation that I was in, that I had to force myself to leave, and how I think that has caused both myself and the person that I was leaving to become better people in the end. And it'll become obvious more what it's about when you listen to the song. This one is the second one that's written in 3/4, by the way, in case you were wondering. And yeah, this one's a little bit of a slower track to slow down before we bring it back up again with the final song on the album. So this is Finish This. No. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's do 45. 45. That's 3. Finish this before. There we go. It has the underscores. That's the point. I need to make this uncapitalized. We got the squigglies back. Let's go. We love the squigglies in this household, don't we, chat? Okay. Let's move on to the song.
I lost my faith in you on the drive home. I just can't keep waiting for a place of my own. And if you open your heart, you might see all the things you've come to do that terrify me. Let me go.
Yeah, so that is Finish This Before You Die. I had a lot of anxiety about putting this one on the album. I imagine a phone lighter in the air the whole time. Thank you, Tess. Uh yes, thank you, Netro. I appreciate the reference. The reason that this one is in the final track is because I just really wanted to put a Meaningless Exchange as the final track, and I hope that you guys see why. I was really anxious about putting this one on the album, because this is one of the most personal songs I think I've written, where it's just like openly very obvious what it's about. Yes, no, I've been living on my own for like 4 almost 5 years now. So I'm good. uh but yeah, this it's a very difficult thing to kind of pour your heart and your mind into a song so openly, but another one of the goals that I wanted with this album was to be more uh I don't know, truthful and honest about um my writing, cuz some of my previous songs, not that they weren't actually like talking about stuff that like was like truthful, but it was restrained and withheld, like um not the whole truth, it was talking about things without really talking about them. And I wanted this album to kind of be more intimate with the topics. Uh and I was like almost at a point where I was going to replace this with another song. Uh but luckily that song ended up being something that I really didn't like. Um so I was kind of forced to put this one. And yeah, and giving it the name of the title track also ties in with that, because like if I didn't have the title track on the album, then it would be kind of empty, uh and missing something. So yeah, that is the title track. Finish This Before You Die. Um Title itself, less about like the themes of the album, more about like symbolically why it's on the album. And then moving on to I guess answer the question of why that isn't the final track on the album, is this following song, A Meaningless Exchange. And it when I was writing this song, I always envisioned it as sort of like when you open up an album, you want to kind of close on a foil note of sorts, on a parallel of some kind. Uh, the opening tracks, I pair Editor's Note and add Finitum as the opening tracks on the album. I kind of think of them as a sort of two sides of the same, or well, I guess 2 points in the same phrase. Um, and that phrase is I'm losing faith in my ability to create music, and it is causing me to lose my sense of meaning in life. Um, and this last song, A Meaningless Exchange, is sort of on the other end, kind of flipping those two. I've refound my sense in creating music, but I don't think that I need meaning in my life anymore, and that's sort of freeing. Because when we cling to what gives us meaning so heavily, uh, that can be a very good thing for a lot of people. But sometimes, if our sense of meaning is, or what gives us meaning is weak or compromised in some sort of way, uh, it's very easy to do everything that we can to kind of fight and claw to keep it, even though that deep down we know that we can't. Um, and that can be very volatile and very dangerous. And when we have our meaning taken away, it's um it's heartbreaking, and a lot of people uh they don't like die over it, but they realistically aren't really surviving it either. They just end up kind of as husks of themselves. And I ended up in that kind of position and sort of realized that I don't think I want to go through again. And it kind of put me in a position where I don't really believe that having a greater meaning is something that I kind of would prefer to be free of that sort of burden. And it kind of took a weight off my mind. That there isn't really a point. I just need to do what makes me happy and live a life that I can be proud of. And that's like the only thing that really matters. Is just being proud of yourself and living you can be happy with. So that sort of foils on like the latter end of the album. It's the inverse of the beginning 2 tracks. And that's why I included it at the end. And also, hopefully you guys agree, but I just think it's probably my favorite song on the album, hands down. So, yeah, let's get into it. There's nothing much more to say about it. This is a Meaningless Exchange. And let's actually change the font size a little. Let's see. Can we do 40? Will that? Do 50. All right, let's go. A Meaningless Exchange. bubble gum. We will never be old enough to know where we come from, 'cause history is not enough. And when I see my arms
Make a small wish to Father Time and his wishing well of lies that I'll never see come true in this life. It's a meaningless exchange. Makes me wonder why we number all our days. And I hate that I spend all my time inside. Isn't enough just to be remembered to this. A new way, 'cause the only way we've ever known means it won't matter if we kill the ones who just want to be left alone. A new way, 'cause the only way I've ever known means it won't matter if I end the world. So why do I keep moving on alone? It's a meaningless exchange. Makes me wonder why we number all our days. And I hate that I spend all my time inside. It isn't enough just to be remembered. Let's do this a new way. The only way we've ever known means it won't matter if we kill the ones who just want to be left alone. A new way, 'cause the only way I've ever known means it won't matter if I end the world. So why do I keep moving on alone?
So yeah, that was a meaningless exchange. I hope you guys can see why I wanted that to be the last song on the album. Thank you, Tess. I really appreciate it. That was when I started writing that song. Actually, you know what's fun? Is I still have, I believe, the original demo. You heard it at the end there. It was that like kind of part that was kind of a little distant and kind of lower in the mix. That was the original demo of the song that I sent to Snow like way back when, and Snow kept pestering me. And I say this lovingly because if she hadn't pestered me, then it wouldn't be the song that it is now. But she kept being like, this is one of the best things you've ever written, and if you don't make this a full song, I'm going to do it myself. And I was like, okay, I'll make it a full song. Yeah, it started as the sort of that break after the second chorus where it goes down to the lower level acoustic thing. And then it goes into the chorus again, but it started out as just this acoustic thing. And I still have the original demo, and I might show it to you guys in a minute. But yeah, it's probably my favorite thing on the album, as I've said multiple times now. And it I think it's really fun because it's really lyrically packed as well. Like the verses are some of the most wordy things that I've put into a song. And the my favorite, I was referring to this line on Twitter like a while ago. I was like, oh, imagine dropping a line about the 3DS in your upcoming album. And yeah, that's the line that's my drug is a 5x3 screen with a 3D effect, and it's like going back on the theme. This one also goes back on a lot of themes that were present throughout the album. This one's going back on like the theme from like Never Drunk, Never Sober, where like I don't partake in drugs or alcohol because it makes me feel the same way as like my dissociation. And as like a response, it's like my drug is this tiny little console that I'm still obsessed with years later. That is such a like small little thing in my life, but it still brings me joy. And like all of the lines are just about like the tiny things that make me happy, because that's what the song's about. Is like life is meaningless. Chase the things that make you happy. And yeah, that's what the song's about. Let me I think I might have found the original this. Yes, it's this. Very different. It's also a key down.
Take a break from the bubble gum. We will never be old enough to know where we come from. 'Cause history is not enough. And when I see my eyes, I make a small wish to Father Time, and he's wishing well of lies that I'll never see come true in this life. It's a meaningless exchange. Makes me wonder why we number all our days. And I hate that I spend all my time inside. It isn't enough just to be remembered. Let's do this a new way. The only way we've ever known means it won't matter if we kill the ones who just want to be left alone. A new way, 'cause the only way so why do I keep moving on alone?
It just cuts off on the left-hand guitar. Yeah, that version will remain eternally unfinished. Because I can't replicate the vocal tone. That's something I run into with a lot of my songs. Actually, is I get into a certain way of singing on a particular song, and I proceed for the rest of the song to just sing that way. But sometimes I'll go back to songs and I can't match the vocal tone. That one will be finished in the afterlife. Yeah, no, I mean, we have the full version of the song. I wanted to include the acoustic vibe, which is why I brought in the acoustic break in the final version. That starts where this one started. Because obviously the verses don't have like the same melody. They don't have the same lyrics or anything. So I brought in the acoustic break to bring back the original's starting verse at the end of the song. It literally uses this version of the song, just like a couple of keys up. So
The only way we've ever known means it won't matter.
Or I think it's just one step up, actually. So if I go to the actual song that's on the album now, and I go to the very end, sorry for the synth jump scare. It's literally the same thing, just ran through a speaker. And pitched up by a single step. But yeah. That was the full album. And now I will update this to be over. Smiley face. Yeah, that was Finish This Before You Die. I finished it before I died. That is the moral of the story. This will be available at the end of the week on Saturday, March 30th. It will be going up on following platforms. Give me 1 second. So I can pull them up. It will be on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Instagram/Facebook for like their integration thing, TikTok, YouTube Music, Amazon, Pandora, Deezer, Tidal, iHeartRadio, and a bunch of tiny ones that nobody cares about. I will be about 80% of the streams of Candy and Vampires this year. It is a fun song. I really liked writing that one. I really liked writing all the songs on this album. I think that's kind of the point. But yeah, I'm actually kind of exhausted right now, so I think instead of going on to games, I'm probably just going to raid somebody. And yeah, I'm very happy. I'm glad that this is finally getting out, and I really have had fun today showing it to you guys. And I hope you guys are very happy to be able to listen to it now. It will be available at the end of the week, like I said. I will be saving the VOD of this and putting it up on my YouTube when the album comes out. So you guys can go back and see all the fun talking points and facts about it that I made. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Is Ruby still live? Or did Ruby go live in the first place? Did I just misunderstand? If Ruby's live, I'm gonna raid Ruby.